I'm sorry. Your time has come, has come, has come, has come, has come.
No, God is present today. They need to be afraid. You need to be afraid today because the God of justice is present now. That's why he said, vengeance is mine. The battle.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? This is your boy, once again, the Renegade, and this is yet again another episode of Devil's Advocate. This is at Devil's Advocate episode 59, and hey, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it. We got some shit for y'all today because we're gonna be talking about one of those hot topics that's we've been needing to talk about for a while, and for some strange reason, we never can get around to it. But we've got two things of COVID that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the ordeal of shot or no shot, and we are going to talk about its after effects and how has it been affecting society since COVID hit the scene. So with me tonight is, of course, my co-host, the lovely Miss Danny B. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Hope everybody doing all right out there.
Yeah, I hope so too. Shit, looking at these numbers, I mean, y'all been holding up down there in Cincinnati. I mean, what is it? What is it looking like down there? What, first of all?
As of right now, it's nothing major has happened down here as far as numbers are somewhat getting higher, but it's not like at an alarming rate right now. But in Kentucky, which is right over the border, it's not looking too good over there. You know what I'm saying? As far as kids in school, having to leave school, them having to shut stuff down. You know what I'm saying? So we just gonna see.
Hey, you know what though? I'm noticing that trend a lot with what they like to call red states, but we'll just go ahead and say it, Republican states.
Yeah.
And the narrative amongst them is that, I don't want to wear a mask, I don't want to vaccinate, I don't want to do any of that.
Right.
And
I don't wash my hands regularly.
Right. I mean, that's nothing new.
No, it's not.
Amongst them, I mean, they do the most.
Right.
Especially when it comes to not having that kind of personal hygiene.
Right.
I remember when they came out with COVID, and who was it? Nisa Reynolds, one of the instructors at the Ohio Media School. She said, she was like, and everybody wash your hands. I said, well, shit, I thought that was kind of standard.
It always is. It was supposed to be.
Right.
But
I'm like, I thought that was something.
Everybody don't do
it. I mean, hell, I do it out of habit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? These days, it's like something you don't even really think about or think to do. It just does, and that's kind of what I'm wondering about. Like, damn, when did they stop washing their hands and doing all these, hygienic things that really need to be done?
I mean, some people didn't grow up like that. They didn't grow up, getting that good home training as far as knowing how to clean up after yourself and wash your hands. Especially after you use the bathroom. You know what I'm saying? Some people, I've been in the bathrooms, they just walk clean past, just out the door. Like, really? You just ain't gonna wash your hands? That's just gross.
Right. And I remember watching this skit on the Family Guy where, who was it? They was doing like the Justice League type deal, with Superman and Wonder Woman, and they was in the invisible plane, and Wonder Woman had to use the bathroom. Well, she went to use the bathroom, and Superman put on his X-ray vision, and he noticed that she didn't wash her hands, so he flew right next to the plane and was like, so I noticed you didn't wash your hands in the invisible sink. I was like, hell no. But the crazy part is they didn't, I guess when Seth MacFarlane wrote that, he didn't realize how much of a parody it would be.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, damn, this is crazy. So the things that we thought that was actually pretty standard is just not happening.
It's not. It's not standard at all. Not amongst a lot of people.
Yeah, you might as well go and say it. You might as well, because I already know what you was thinking. You might as well go and say it. I mean, hey, it is what it is. I do notice that my damn self, but I mean, who do I know?
Oh shit!
I'm just saying, we got it. So I mean, and that's the thing, even when you talk about Florida, they really tripping down there. I mean,
they numbers high.
Huh?
They numbers high.
Oh yeah. But then again, I mean, they stay high, so.
It's just too many people out there congregating between the beaches and the clubs and the.
But that's the thing, though. I mean, is it a fact that it matter of them congregating, or is it or is it them not being vaccinated and congregating?
What I'm gonna say, like, how is there a way to know for sure?
How is there a way to know?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I don't know. I mean that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you're right about that. But I mean, before you go to these public places, a lot of them ask for your vaccination cards. Before you go to a lot of places. So I mean, you have to have a vaccination card, but I guess they don't believe in that.
No.
So
some do, some don't.
Right. And in which case, I mean, should that be something that we at least need to think about?
I mean, it's definitely something that we need to think about, but it's always going to be people on both sides.
Right. So my question is, do you think that it's a privilege, or is this a responsibility that, people should be vaccinated or not?
I don't know. Privilege, responsibility. I probably wouldn't use neither one of them words. I don't know, because I just feel like it's everybody's choice if they want to get it or not, just because everybody has different circumstances.
Yeah, facts. I mean, that's true. But okay, so let's take a look at the whole angle about it being, well, not a privilege, and that I probably shouldn't have used that. More so, let's more so right versus responsibility. That's the way we'll put that. Okay. So, with it being a right, yes, we should have the ability to be able to not have to, if we don't want to do something, we shouldn't have to do it.
Right.
I mean, if we call ourselves, the so-called land of the free and the home of the brave.
Right.
All right, I get that part. I mean, it's kind of like, I guess, I don't know if you want to really compare it, but I mean, it's people's right to put heroin in their bodies too.
It is.
And we definitely know that's gonna make them sick.
Yes, we do.
So,
but they still have a right to do that.
Right. So, and they do have a right to do that. So now, I'm like, shit. They should have been the first to do it, because they should have been the first to do it. Hell, they ought to be used to needles.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I mean, they shouldn't have had no problems at all with
I mean, you're right about that. Hey. They definitely shouldn't.
Hey, I mean, I'm just keeping it all the way 100 here. I mean, if you want to, put a needle in your arm, at least make it a vaccination, and not so narcotic.
I mean, hey,
I'm just saying, we hustling backwards.
I mean, everybody got their rights, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And that's the whole point. I mean, they got, everybody has their rights to, want to either do it or don't do it.
Right.
But on the flip side of that, when does it come a responsibility?
I would think,
Because now, I mean, we're looking at lockdowns and all kinds of other shit.
yeah.
I mean,
But
go ahead.
I think the problem is for a lot of us is that they don't know for sure the vaccination works because it's people that have been fully vaccinated and then died from COVID. I don't know, how many people have, but I've seen stories, here and there. Because with media, all the news is out there for you to, put your hands on. But
Okay.
I just feel like if we felt that we knew for sure, like that we would actually be safe from this disease if we took it, then more of us would take it.
Okay, so
But some of us just feel like guinea pig. Some of us just feel like they're experimenting on us, and we don't trust what they putting inside of us.
all right, so well, you know what? And that's a good point. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to kind of play devil's advocate a little bit here. Well, it's my job.
Okay.
But there's two incidents, or not two incidents. I'm sorry. Two events in history that can kind of and support both narratives. All right. So
Okay.
the first one was back in the 1930s with the Tuskegee experiment, where
Oh, yeah.
where syphilis was shot up in a lot of Americans, black males, to be specific.
Mhm.
And of course they tried to come up with some sort of cure for syphilis, and well, that's an epic fail, to say the least.
Definitely.
All right, so I mean, just to make a long story short, then a little known fact about the polio virus back in the 1950s. There was a polio outbreak back in the 1950s, and that killed close to 2 million people. I mean, there was a volunteer that came in the Voice Corps. And he was telling me all about it, because I mean, them old folks, they come in there and they read and stuff like that.
Right.
And he said, the outbreak was so bad that he had to go, they had to ship him out to his grandparents.
Damn.
Right. And I was like, well, how did they come up with the vaccine? He said the same way that they came up with, this one, and it just took a little more time, but I mean, it was a vaccine. So, and then he was explaining to me what had happened, and I was like, oh, so this COVID thing is really a repeat of history. He said, yep, all day long. I said, oh, well, shit, why don't they just say that? You know what I mean? Like, well, why don't they just say that? I mean, and which kind of started, the whole immunization process for children, that go to school.
Right.
So that's and that's where we at. And I believe personally, I mean, on one hand, I look at it as just another immunization. I mean, hell, I spent 10 years in the Army, and I've been to 15 different countries, so I've had to have all kinds of shots.
Right.
Shit, I'm not even sure if the COVID shot would even do me any good. I done had so many shots, so hey, one of them, at least 2 or 3. Like I've had a smallpox vaccine, an anthrax vaccine, a ricin vaccine. Yeah, and that smallpox, or at least that anthrax vaccine burns like hell. The flu vaccine, I don't know how many times I've had that. I mean, just to name a few. So, for me, I look at it as kind of just another immunization.
Yeah. But that's because you done had every vaccine known to man.
Pretty much, yeah. I feel like an experiment. but I'm still fine. Ish. I'm still fine, you know.
I mean, because I get the flu vaccine, you know what I'm saying? But that's the only vaccine, you know, other than what I got when I was a baby. But other than that, no. I mean,
right. So my question is, what makes this vaccine any different?
It's the vaccine.
Because don't people die from the flu vaccine?
I don't know.
Haven't people died from it?
I'm sure they have.
Exactly. So that's my point. What makes this vaccine any different?
I think the vaccine and the virus is just different in general. Like if you get the flu, you know the symptoms. You know what I'm saying? You might not know them right away because you know you might think you got a cold. You used to being tired all the time anyway. So certain things you're not gonna notice just because that's your everyday life. You do a lot anyway. But at the same time, it's not like their symptoms change in different individuals. Like this is a tricky virus. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So for them to say they coming out with something that's supposed to prevent and make us safer from it, but even after you get it, you still have to do the same shit. Now they pushing for like a third booster, and now the Dr. Fauci, I think I'm saying that right, but he said that some people need to worry about if they got the first two vaccines, that they gotta wait a certain amount of time. Don't get the booster too early because that's gonna have it's like that might have an alternate effect. It's too many like uncertainties for some people to just be like, all right, stick me. You know what I'm saying? Some people just feel strongly about not because there's too many unanswered questions.
Okay, so it's too many unanswered questions, but it's too many unanswered questions about a lot of shit. Yeah. Even outside of COVID. So there again, what makes this any different?
I mean, it would be different for those too, depending on the individual.
Okay.
Like I take everything, as it comes. I mean, this is what we're dealing with right now, COVID.
Right.
And even me working in the field that I work in, in a rehab facility, I don't plan on getting that vaccine.
Okay. And I mean, why not? I'm only asking you because I want to hear the side of the why not.
No, because like for some of the things I just mentioned before, like I don't trust the shit. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I don't feel like being their guinea pig this time. I feel like it's too many, like I said, too many unanswered questions about the whole situation as is. Everything on TV that they quote unquote tell us that's fact. As a person that asks a lot of questions, I can't believe that shit. I feel like there's a lot of things that are omitted from the truth. It ain't like that ain't been no shit that's been down in history. You feel me? So when I feel strongly about something, I'ma stick with it. Okay. And that's what I choose to do.
Okay.
And if whatever I like on the last show we was kind of discussing like knowing what you may have to deal with or knowing what you may have to give up or whatever the situation is, choosing to not get the vaccine, considering now certain places are making people get the vaccine to work, to go on like cruises. I don't know if they're working on planes. Like, I don't know.
Cruises. I read something about that. In cruises, I think they have to pay like an extra $150 or $200 per person, per unvaccinated person. Due to insurance.
Okay.
So I don't think it's not the fact that you can't go on a cruise. It's just the thing of, you have to pay, a lot more.
Right.
So do you think like wearing masks like really helps this situation? Because a lot of people don't do that either. I
mean, I don't think it does. I don't know, because at the end, like since we don't really know how the shit is spread for real, like I don't know. I don't think it does much because it's a thin layer of material. You know what I'm saying? To be talking about a virus. I mean, I don't want nobody sneezing in my face anyway, let alone COVID.
Right.
So it's just,
You know, so that's the thing. If you're going to be unvaccinated, at least wear a mask. I mean, wouldn't that be fair?
I mean, I feel like if you're going to be around people, yes.
Yeah. If you're going to be around people,
Like
that's the thing. If you're not, then fuck it.
Like, I'm not, because this is what I'm saying. Like, when I'm in Walmart or Kroger's, I'm not 6 feet close to no damn body, no motherfucking way.
My grandmother said the other day, she said, I don't know why they don't want to wear no damn mask. They already, they need to wear a mask to hide themselves from their ugly face. That's how they need to protect the public. I'm like, yeah, they are ugly. Like, shit.
Grandmas, the shit they say.
Right. She said she was like, they are. I'm like, yeah, they ugly. You right about that, though. For real. I'm like, yeah. But, I mean, I get her point, though. That's the thing. My grandmother, my whole family is unvaccinated, just about.
Right.
I'm the only. It's me and my aunt. My aunt in Atlanta is the only people that are vaccinated. And yes, I will go on the record and say I am 100% vaccinated. I'm fully vaccinated.
And I will go on the record saying I am not.
And you know what? That's the thing. But I can talk about this with you, and because it's hard to talk about it with other people anyway, because they're so narrow-minded that, and had I not have told you that, or had I not have just told the public that, you probably wouldn't know it.
No.
Because I don't say, I'm like, look, it's your right to do whatever you want to do. I mean,
right.
Who am I to tell you, how to live your life? If that's what listen, if it gets you through the day, you hear me say that a lot. If it gets you through the day, go for it.
Right.
But the thing is that, we have these rising numbers. I got them right here. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So, this is according to the New York Times. The COVID numbers. There's 87,011 new cases per day in the United States. And there's 151,227 on a 7-day average. And out of 327.1 million Americans, 200,947,556 have at least one dose. And then the fully vaccinated is 170,406,785 that are fully vaccinated. So that's a little more than half. I'd say about 60%.
Mm-hmm.
That are fully vaccinated. So we've got half the country that's vaccinated, half the country that's not. And it kind of goes to just show you, even when it comes to how divided our country actually is.
It's always gonna be something to divide us.
Well, you think this COVID shot is one of them?
I mean, of course, it's gonna be the vaccinated against the unvaccinated. That's already apparent.
Oh wow. Well, I mean, but that's a whole nother topic though. Oh wow.
I mean, unvaccinated, vaccinated, mask, no mask.
But okay, so do you think that's going to be?
It's always going to be two sides of everything. That's all I'm saying.
Well, that's true. That is true. But do you think that's just going to be another thing that's just going to, basically divide us?
I think it already has, because people think so strongly about their decision that they're very passionate and sometimes disrespectful, depending on who they talking to.
Very disrespectful.
Like just like you said, me and you on different sides of that.
Yeah.
But we can still have conversations about it. I respect your choice, your opinion, you respect mine. We can still discuss these things.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? We can agree to disagree. But there's a lot of people out here that cannot.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
and that's just scrolling on social media. You know what I'm saying? And seeing people argue about what we talking about. Like just looking in the comments and seeing people going back and forth, like motherfuckers be
Right, and I kind of sit there like, damn, are y'all really serious? Are y'all really going through all of this? For what?
yes.
For what? Is it really, and it's crazy because, they targeted the black community for it because I remember throughout the whole news, all the news, they were like, oh, it's going to affect the black community and this and that and the third and blah, 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 all that craziness.
Higher risk.
Yeah, and to be quite honest, I ain't seen that. I personally have not seen this virus really affect the black community like it has not any other community.
I mean, I haven't seen much of a difference.
Right, and well, see, that's the thing. This was one of the narratives that was given,
I remember that.
by them. So I'm kind of wondering, like, yeah, they may have been wrong, or well, never mind, maybe they were wrong on that. So my question is that where do we go from here as a society? Because now it's came to a point where we have to protect our society and our way of life, which hasn't been done. Meanwhile, I mean, we have a president in front office who can't even fucking find the front door. Did you see that bullshit?
Which one? Which bullshit?
Biden. He was in the bushes looking for the front door of the White House.
No, I did not.
Oh. Yeah. Of course, it wasn't highly publicized. You know that. But he's looking for the front door.
He ain't got he been there before. Shit.
Man, look, many times, and I'm starting to wonder, but that's a whole nother conversation. We ain't even gonna get into that right now because I've already been flagged for this post. Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've already been flagged for that because they said the post mentions COVID-19. Blah blah blah. So what? But anyway, right. So my question is that do we really? I mean, when do we just say when though? Because we gotta figure out a way to protect our society. Unless we just want to, give, are we actually taking our control? Like, how can I put it?
You talking about with the vaccinations?
Yeah.
I mean, it all depends on if you feel like the vaccination gonna save us from this. If you don't feel like it's gonna save you, then you ain't tripping on not taking it.
Well, do you
feel like it's gonna save us?
You don't feel like that?
Hell no.
And you know what? And I mean, people have died from the vaccine or taking the vaccine. I mean, it's a couple of people that died from Moderna, but I don't know how many. I mean, I don't think it's enough to really cause that much of concern. Now, in this case, and I'm going to use this word or use this, and I need for people to understand that let's not take this the wrong way, but collateral damage. It's kind of like when you're fighting a war. When you're fighting a war, you know that some people are going to die.
Yep.
I mean, and that's just kind of it. That's really where we're at on that. People are going to die. So my thing is like, I mean, to protect myself, if it's you be damned if you do, damned if you don't. Yeah. But I mean, if I'm damned, if I do, then at least I've got, statistically speaking, a better shot.
But that's because you believe that though.
Okay. I mean, but is it statistics? That's the thing. How many people have really died from taking this vaccine?
Like, I don't know how many people have died, but I know people that have took the vaccine and still died from COVID. Well,
yeah, there is that. There is that whole thing too.
I mean, so I'm just saying, like, it's not really like, the thing is this. A lot of people do things to just make themselves feel safer.
Okay.
The mask thing, I don't feel like it's doing a major, you know what I'm saying, thing with the mask, just because they're so thin and so much can come through a mask, you know, especially if you're in close contact with somebody. But I think that's a sense of you know, people feeling like they safe, they feel safer. You know what I'm saying? Like this vaccine, it makes them feel more comfortable, you know, and safer with dealing with this virus. They feel like they're safer with that with taking that vaccine.
Okay.
But I feel like everybody is different. Like I don't went to school for like biology. You know what I'm saying? So I think on another level, as far as, you know what I'm saying, our immune systems, some of us have good ones, some of us don't. You know what I'm saying? It's very different levels of, you know, people in their situations medically, you know, or physically.
Right.
But the thing is this, who's to say that this vaccine is boosting my immune system to help me fight this? Some people, it might do the exact opposite. It's just, we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And they only telling us what they want us to know. Anything that's opposed what they're talking about, like if it's some shit that could fuck them stats up, they wouldn't tell us no way.
Well, okay. And I mean, I get that, but we also have to remember that everything is not about conspiracy theories too. Because the reality of it is that people are dying.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's just the bottom line. You know.
But nobody 100% knows why though. Like nobody 100% knows why.
I mean, do they really know any other time?
What you mean?
I mean, just saying, like, you know, we could say somebody died from a gunshot wound, but did they really die from a gunshot wound? I mean, do we really know that? There's a lot of people that been shot by guns and have lived.
But there's ways to find that out though.
That's true. Just like there are ways to find out if somebody really died from COVID or died from having the shot.
But is it though? Because if I don't recall, the last time when COVID first came out and they had all these numbers about all these COVID deaths, and come to find out they ended up having to recant some of them numbers for COVID because some of them they didn't die from COVID. It was something else, the flu or some other pneumonia or whatever the fuck. Either way it go, all I'm saying is, do they know for real? Like, I understand that they got tests that they're doing to try to weed out, you know, and pinpoint COVID, but it seems that they can't really do that because COVID is too complex and it's too close to other viruses.
You're right. I mean, and I can't. And I mean, there's always that. So I'm not. You know, listen. The whole deal is that if it makes you feel any better, go get vaccinated. Because the way I look at it is, it's just another immunization to me. I mean, and you know, okay, so it's not like I've never taken one. Lord knows I've done that. You know what I mean? So, and not only that, but this is a matter of history repeating itself.
Always is.
Exactly. And I just gave an example of the polio outbreak of the 1950s. So, I mean, you know, if history repeats itself, so do vaccines. You know, and well, not vaccines, but so does the need to get vaccinated.
Right.
So, I mean, the choice is yours. You know, whatever you want to do. I mean, personally, I don't think that, you know, but if you do get vaccinated, you don't need to tell the entire planet. Because Lord knows you ain't tell the entire planet when you got a flu vaccine.
Right.
Or, you know, you got some... Matter of fact, nobody really knew I had any vaccines until, you know, I actually told them. I'm like, okay, so what? You know, and not only that, but a lot of it can be used to separate and divide. So yeah. I think we really need to be, you know, we really need to be careful about that. All right, so listen, if you guys want to come on the show, please do so. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear your opinions. The Zoom meeting ID is 620-362-9381. We'll be here for the next half hour or so. So we'd love to hear from you. Okay, so now going back to the topics at hand here. We have had its effects. Just COVID-19 in general. Its effects on society. What you think's going on? What do you think are some of the long-lasting effects of not from COVID itself, but I'm talking about as far as on society?
I mean, it has affected a lot. It has affected businesses for sure. A lot of businesses we seen were thriving once this pandemic hit. A lot of them are closed down now. A lot of them they don't have enough workers. Right now down here we having an issue with the school. School just started, and the yellow bus service is for some schools non-existent anymore because they don't have enough drivers. So they lost the contract. So now our Metro bus, which is the city bus, is supposed to be picking these kids up, but they don't have enough drivers, so they don't have enough buses. So you see a corner packed with about 50 kids because they waiting to get on the bus at the end of school. Then you got these kids getting up at like 5 something in the morning to be at the bus stop to get to school, and school start at 8, and they don't get to school till like 7:50. It's like, so it's taking a toll on everybody and every aspect of life, it seems.
So with that being said, I mean, what are some more?
What issues that's been going on as far as the shit? What other than that? Oh, and then just, I mean, honestly, a lot of this has made a lot of people have to, think about what they're gonna do with the rest of their life dealing with this pandemic. Especially with this mandate coming for a lot of people with these jobs in the health industry. There's no way of telling what's next, as far as what's the next thing they'll be trying to mandate, or what next law they'll be trying to pass, or when it comes to any of this. So a lot of this is everybody gonna end up with a lot of anxiety. I feel like in the future it's gonna be a lot of just us with these masks, especially if we working with these masks on. You're taking in that carbon dioxide all day long. You get brief breaks of a little fresh air here and there. You know what I'm saying?
And brush your teeth, because I'm pretty sure it ain't good. Huh?
That's because if you're breathing in 100-degree breath all day, you definitely
people that came in with their beards and mustaches. Oh boy, don't do no shit like that. That's fun, because I'm gonna laugh at you. I'll be like, ooh, we didn't brush your teeth this morning.
You stupid.
That's bad news. I'm just saying. Now,
Yeah.
okay, so what about the crime rate?
Crime has went up. Suicide rate has went up.
It's definitely went up.
It's horrible.
Yeah, and so what do you think can be done, like, as far as like coping mechanisms and everything else?
I mean, a lot of these people need therapy, I'm sure.
Well,
But-
I think too, what it's done for a lot of people is it's really made them face themselves and face the truth
Yeah.
about who they are, face their lives. I mean, man, I never thought I'd see the day, and I almost broke into tears the other day. I was at work, and I just so happened to be reading this guy, 28 years old, shot this 5-month-old baby, killed it, kidnapped his girlfriend,
Goodness gracious.
stole a car, kidnapped her, wrecked that car, kidnapped her some more, and stole another one until he wound up getting caught and getting arrested.
That's crazy.
We had another guy who shot his whole family and then turned around and killed himself.
Why you can't just kill yourself? Why you gotta take them with you? I never understood that about people.
Well,
Not saying you can go, you should kill yourself by any means. I'm not promoting, suicide. But all I'm saying is, it's like they didn't do nothing to have to leave this earth. So why do you got to take them with you?
Selfishness.
Boy.
I mean, it's that's one word that comes to mind when we talk about things like that. But even still, we have, a lot of these things have really played on the psyche of the people. Because we spent a lot of time indoors last year, and I mean, honestly, because of the pandemic, this is why you're able to see No Filter today.
Yeah.
Because one thing I used that time constructively, and I saw a need and a niche for something, and I created this show, Devil's Advocate. And then after I came up with Devil's Advocate, I said, well, I'm gonna need a brand, and came up with No Filter. I did it all in a day. And the crazy part is that No Filter was built right on my grandmother's kitchen table.
I know that's right.
That's where it started. And, now here we are. So I think it's important for a lot of people, especially if, you don't want to take the vaccine, start thinking about your legacy. Start thinking about what you are going to leave to the people on this earth. What are you, not, the fortune and fame that a lot of people talk about when they, talk about leaving their kids, although I'm not saying that that's not great. But surely, I mean, think about this. Shakespeare was a writer. Homer was also a writer.
Mm-hmm.
And here it is almost 1,000 years later, and their plays and their books and their poems are still being read and taught in universities to this day. That's leaving a legacy.
Yeah.
Although I can't understand either one of them. I've tried reading the Odyssey, and I'm just like, yeah, it must be deep.
Yeah, too deep.
I said no. I just say must be deep, because I mean, you say that, and you don't. That means that you really don't understand what somebody just said anyway. I'm like, damn, it must be deep. But I mean, the point is that great people thrive in the face of adversity. I did understand that when Homer said that in the Iliad.
Okay.
I understood that. Great people thrive in adversity. So I think, in other words, let's look at the next 20 years. How are we going to be able to shape the next 20 years? Like when I started in broadcasting school, I said to myself, this is the first day of the rest of my life, and this is what, I want to do. This is how I'm trying to shape up the next 20. The last 40 might have been a little rocky, but here's to the next 20.
Right.
So, what are we going to do? Am I able to go through this process effectively? It's a lot of questions, you can ask yourself that, for all intents and purposes, I mean, we probably should ask ourselves.
But this is the time where people need to find out what else they can do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they need to put their energy,
help reshape the planet.
Yeah, make it more positive right. Energy.
And this is why, you see, I kind of watch, like, even recently, and more, I'm starting to learn to watch what I say, watch what I do, watch what I think, watch what I post, watch a lot of these things. And because I'm really starting to understand the power of, my words.
Yeah.
And it'd be time to get rid of some negative behaviors that we've been repeating for so long. And another thing, I think that's important is that we need to get to know our spouses. Get to know them. Get to know your kids, because, Lord knows if we get locked down again, we're going to be stuck with them for a while.
Right.
So if you're not sure you want to be with them, you might want to end that now. Just
divorce
saying.
divorce rate was high too. Shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I was watching Dr. Phil. Man, and it was this couple that had been married for 42 years and decided to get a divorce once the pandemic came. Because, and it just go to show you that people don't know each other.
Nope. And plus, when you've been together that long, it's like, if they got kids, they didn't raise the kids been gone. Now it's just left them two.
Right.
So what you gonna do?
So I think it's important that we really start to think about building our legacy. I mean, hell, think about, do you even want to go back to work for the people that you was working for before all this shit happened?
Right.
I mean, do you want to start making steps to, maybe make a career change? Think about what you want to do. Think about your purpose.
Some people so scared of change, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, people be at a job forever, and then it's like, once they can't go back to that job, it's like, what am I gonna do? You gonna figure the fuck out.
Well, shit. When you at home and ain't got no job, what else you gonna do?
Right, you gonna have to figure something out.
Exactly. So if I was them, right now, I'd be like the Coda bus here in Columbus. Get on it. That's their motto. Get on it. So you need to get on it, like the Fonz. I'm just saying, it's a lot of things that we can do. I mean, COVID has like literally changed society.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've been subject to a certain narrative for so long, and now all of a sudden, it has changed.
Yes, it has. Tremendous.
And a lot of these things are more catered towards political correctness. People of color, which I'm starting to see that because I wrote a magazine, or I wrote an article for a magazine. Well, you read it.
Yep.
The Juneteenth. Yes.
Yep,
and do you know all the nasty comments I got from all of these white people?
Oh, I can imagine.
Because I'm sitting here thinking like, okay, so this is an informational article. It in no way, shape, or form had any kind of racist connotation to it whatsoever. In fact, it was probably one of the most objective articles I've ever written. And yet and still, I'm getting called the N-word on this post. I'm getting told go to hell. I'm a piece of shit. All that.
Mm-hmm. They don't want you to mention Juneteenth.
Well, it's just crazy because a lot of people are being put into positions to where they can no longer control a narrative.
Yeah.
And it's killing them. Like, people would say, oh, well, we say Black Lives Matter, and then they'll turn around and say all lives matter.
Right.
That means that they are trying to control the narrative.
Of course.
Because if the narrative isn't about them or hasn't anything to do with them, all of a sudden it's all wrong.
Yeah, because they're not included.
Right. Yeah, well, they, but here, and then someone even mentioned the fact that getting this shot is discrimination.
Against who?
Against the people that don't want to get it. They said it was discrimination. It's a bunch of white people who said that. I'm like, oh, so discrimination. I said, welcome to my world. How does it feel?
Okay. But they still don't know.
I'm like, how does that? I was like, welcome. I'm like, you just tasting a bit of. I'm like, oh, so discrimination. They were like, well, you can't get anybody in the bodies. I'm like, yeah, but I could get discriminated against all the time. Different jobs, different, all kinds of stuff.
Right.
So how's that any different? I'm like, somebody please explain to me what's so different about that. So, this, like I said, this COVID has affected all walks of society. it's funny too because speaking of societies, I was talking to one of the fans in our newest country and in Taiwan. Shout out to Taiwan. And he was telling me. He was telling me, I was like, okay, so are you planning on getting the vaccine? He said no. I said, oh, okay. Is there a reason why I'm not? He was like, oh, I know. No, I'll tell you. I was like, all right. So then he says, it's because the vaccines are coming from China. I was like, okay, so. And he said, yeah, well, they're Chinese made. He was like, so you're expecting for me to take the virus take this vaccine from the people who actually gave us the virus? I said, well.
Yeah.
Well. There's that. I'm like, yeah. I can't quite disagree at all, actually. Well, yeah. He was like, that's just like somebody slapping you in the face and then kissing you right afterwards.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, there's that. I'm like, man. And then I had to joke with him and say, hey, it sounds like you've been there before. He was like, don't start. I'm like, hey. I'm just saying.
And you brought it up.
Huh?
Like, he brought it up.
Right. And I'm just like, hey, bro, I'm just saying, you kind of sound like he was talking from a bit of experience. I don't know. Just saying. But yeah, so I think we really need to be careful about what we do, say, think, and everything else. And really, as they would say in the Army, tighten our shot groups. Because, it might be like Bubba Sparks and finna get ugly. So with that being said, we got a few minutes here. Tell us what's going on with you, Miss Danny.
Oh, well, right now, just continue to work at my lovely job and at the rehab center, and probably gonna end up being a trainer sometime soon.
Okay.
Other than that, just working on this media stuff. Got to get my computer fixed because that went down on me. So
is it Windows or
Microsoft?
Yeah. So Windows.
It's Microsoft.
Okay.
I got a AP.
Ah, yeah.
But yeah, so working on that. Then once I get that together, I plan on trying to start with my show, and then what you told me about the job and the voiceovers, I definitely want to try that. So just I'm trying to do whatever I can.
Mm-hmm. Oh, speaking of voiceovers, if you want to do some real quick voiceover work, find out. You go to allaccess.com.
All Access, okay.
Yep, they got all kinds of jobs and everything else if you want to do that, or you can get into audiobooks. That's acx.com. I'm on that too.
Okay.
Come on, you ought to know I know about this shit.
Yeah, I know. It's just I got so many lists and so much stuff I'm trying to do. I'm just
right. That's what I'm saying. Now the audiobooks, though, that's the thing, especially with different clients, because you may get that one client like I got. Oh my God, this book was horribly written. Well, he's from Africa, and that's the thing. They got a whole nother dialect of English, and I was trying to get permission from the publishing company to be able to do a little bit of editing because it was just awful.
Right.
I'm like, and trying to voice it over is something else because, in your head, like, this don't sound right at all. This is linguistically incorrect.
Right.
I can't read this like this. And the one thing that bailed me out was getting that intern or working at UTS full time when I got out there. Michael, one of our colleagues, he'll be the host of Beats and Bars. He actually just got interned there.
Okay.
Of course, I sent him right to Miss Sonia. I gave Sonia a call and said, hey, look, I got this guy. So he got his second interview with them, and now he on his way. And congrats and shout out to him for that. Yeah, right. See, don't you wish you was in Columbus? I could be getting you together like that.
Man, look.
You know.
We're gonna figure it out from here until I make a move.
Facts. Because yeah, so I mean, there's all kinds of little stuff I kind of found out along the way, that could really help out, like with your media career and everything else. So there's that one. As far as me, let's see, what am I doing?
I'm about to say, yeah, what all you been doing?
Oh God. Where do I start? Oh, yeah, okay. Well, there's No Filter. Please check us out at No Filter on it on Twitter. We got our Twitter account jumping off, we got a couple ads out, that's doing their thing. Check me out on 95.1 in Mount Gilead, Classic Rock 95X in Mount Gilead. Every Friday night, we are doing high school football. I am the color commentator, and this week's game is going to be Grandview at Centerburg. Should be a good one. Both teams blew their opponents out last week. It's just kind of funny because I was looking at some of the stats, and the stats were similar, and I'm just like, damn. Under normal circumstances, they probably wouldn't have won the game, but I mean, the teams they're playing was really shitty anyway.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, under normal circumstances, they probably wouldn't have won a game, but it is the first game of the season. It was really great. I was at Cardington Lincoln versus Fairbanks, and this is all Division III. High school football, and it was great to see the people in the stands, having a good time, and we was on it. Charlie Dennis, the play-by-play announcer, I'm his sidekick. He's Batman, I'm Robin, if that's what you want to call it. Yeah, he's really good. He's a young guy too, really good.
Okay.
And it was kind of easy. He made things real easy on that standpoint. So I'm doing that. You can check me out at Voice Corp. I'll be participating in the show as always. The 10 o'clock sports show on voicecorp.org. You can go and listen in live. You can also go to 95.1 or 95X and listen in live as well if you want to listen to the football game, because that's on programming. We have the announcers round table at 6, and then who is it? Skip Gossick from 97.1 The Fan here in Columbus does his pregame thing, and then we do our pregame thing. Myself and the play-by-play announcer will do our pregame thing right before the game begins.
Okay.
When we have that,
everybody check it out.
Yep, everybody check it out. You go to www.nofilter.com or NoFilter LLC or www.nofilterproductionsllc.com. You can check us out there. I'll be doing a couple of updates to the site tonight. Let's see, you can check us out at the No Filter Productions LLC Facebook page. We're there. You can check out, some of the articles I've written. I've got 3 published this year at Arinthius Frazier on Facebook. I have a public figure page on that note. Oh boy. And I'll also be on a couple other shows with the Ignorant Thinkers podcast, the Sports Angle, and I'll also be with the Sports Guru. We'll be doing that as well. And we just all over the place. So,
I see.
So that's where we at. So, any last words? We got about 45 seconds.
Everybody be safe. Try to keep your spirits up. I know it's hard out there, but we gotta look forward. We gotta make sure we got a future for all these next generations coming up. We just gotta keep pushing.
Facts.
Get on the boat.
Facts. Don't say no shit like that, because the last time we got on the boat, it didn't end up well. so you
Figure
get on the
speech.
boat. I'm finna say, you can get on the boat if you want to. I bet I don't. Yeah, bet I don't. You gonna have to shoot me down on a plane, Jack.
Oh,
We ain't going out like that.
man.
But anyway, listen. Hey, thank you. Shout out to the fans once again. We shot y'all out yesterday, so I'm gonna shout y'all out again today. And every time I do a show, we appreciate having you. Because of you guys, you guys are great. You guys make No Filter. This is the People's Network. And feel free to also email us at infilter889@gmail.com, or you can go to the website and just hit contact us, and it'll shoot straight to that email. We'll appreciate hearing from you. Let us know your thoughts, comments, anything like that. For now, for Miss Danny B, I'm the Renegade. You have watched Devil's Advocate episode 59 right here on No Filter. See us again next week, 8 or 9 o'clock ish, whatever. We'll be here. We'll let y'all know. But anyway, because we all have busy schedules, so we do our best to make sure that you guys are up to date and entertained. So so with that being said, you guys stay safe and love each other, and y'all take care.